Star Trek, man, was this amazing, fantastic movie. This is the 11th Star Trek movie or a reboot. It was actually kind of like a prequel slash reboot because this movie does acknowledge all the previous films. I really liked what J.J. Abrams and Robert Orci and Alex Kurtzman did. And if you guys didn't know, the guys that wrote the first Transformers movie, this Revenge of the Fallen, the sequel to Transformers, and those guys wrote this one, and they did an amazing job. First off, I really like what they did with the Enterprise. I mean, it's really reminiscent to the old one, but the engines are more aerodynamic in the curve. I really like that. It's really cool. The Enterprise is really badass.
Captain, engineering reports ready for launch.
The story was just really good. I really liked what they did. The beginning of the film just shows like the USS Calvin, which is the ship before the Enterprise on the maiden voyage, and they show a distress call, and man, it just was really cool. Like you have the one guy who played the, I forgot what his name is, but he played the bad guy in Iron Man, with the guy that held Tony Stark captive, that had the rings from the 10 rings, and he was really good. He played the captain of the USS Calvin, and the Romulans. They're the main enemy of this, and it's cool because they've used like the Klingons and the Borg so much throughout all these series that it's cool that the Romulans are back as the main antagonist. The captain of the USS Calvin gets killed by Nero and his spiky Tyrellan weapon, and then Kirk's father, George Kirk, was first officer. He's now captain, and he basically sacrifices himself in the ship so all the crew can get off, including his wife, that gives birth to James T. Kirk. And that one part, oh god, it was really so hard not to cry because it was so sad. Because this guy is gonna die. He's never gonna see his son grow up, and he's sacrificing himself. They show how they come up with his name, like George, Kirk's father. His father's name is Tiberius, and Kirk's mother's father's name was James, so they named him after that. So that was cool, little backstory. And then it's cool so it was really sad when Kirk's father died. And then we see Spock as a kid, and man, Spock, beats up some bullies, and man, Spock is hardcore. He has some mad fighting skills throughout this movie. I really like Zachary Quinto as Spock. He was one of my favorite characters. I love him as Hero in Heroes as Siler. He did a really amazing job as Spock. And I mean, Leonard Nimoy plays old Spock throughout the series because this whole thing takes a parallel universe. It's people from the future go, like the Romulans. The planet gets destroyed by a supernova, and so old Spock, Leonard Nimoy's Spock, is sent with this red matter that causes like a black hole. And what happened? It actually sends the remaining Romulans, which is like Nero and his crew, and Spock into the future. But it sends the Romulans first in the future, and then that's where they intercept the Calvin, and they basically change history because now Kirk grows up without a father. Poor Kirk. But Chris Pine did a great job, as Kirk. What's really cool, he had the charm and smart, like very like sarcastic humor of Kirk, like the William Shatner Kirk, when he wasn't like super campy like Shatner. And I love Shatner, but it was really cool to see a new take on Kirk, and he was really like badass leadership skills. But it's cool to see him as Academy. Like I love seeing when Kirk and I love seeing when Kirk meets Bones McCoy. It was really awesome. Carl Urban did an amazing job. He really channels DeForest Kelly on there, and they of course throughout the series, the movie, you get the famous quotes like "Damn Jim, I'm a doctor, not a physician." Now Winona Ryder plays Spock's mother, and that was really cool. And she even makeup to look her older, she still looks so good. I have a big crush on Winona Ryder, and she looks still good. And if she's the Spock's mother, it's like no wonder Spock's a good looking dude. But it's cool to see him as Academy, and there's so many little references, like Kirk when he's eating the apple, taking the test, and like there's another Star Trek movie where when he's talking about taking the test when he became captain, he was eating an apple too, so that was a pretty cool thing. All the crew members were great. how the actress that played Uhura, and Anton Yelchin, who plays Chekhov. He was awesome. He got the accent right. I love the little thing when they're trying to do the voice command and the computer can't understand because his Russian accent's so thick. And he's going to do a great job as Kyle Reese. He's really a great young actor. I loved Simon Pegg as Scotty. He did an amazing job. He was so funny, and oh man, I can't wait to see the sequel. And I know they're making a sequel in 2011 with more of them because I want to see more relations. It's kind of cool that Spock and Uhura are like dating and stuff because Kirk's always known for like being with all these different women. And we see Kirk with an Orion girl. By the way, the girl that plays the Orion girl plays Scarlet in the G.I. Joe movie, and even though she's green, she still looks hot. But yeah, anyway, it was really cool. Some people were saying like because of the whole parallel universe and changing the future, it's kind of like inconsistent or confusing. It wasn't really confusing for me, but it's really cool because it makes it so you can forget about all the other movies, like all the Star Trek movies beforehand, because they can have totally new adventures or like what happened to them in the original series. So I'm really looking forward to that. I really I really like how at the end, like where Kirk becomes captain and Spock becomes his first officer, and it's just it's just such an awesome film. I want to see it again. I totally recommend all you guys seeing it. I'm just all over the place, but this movie is just so good. Better go see Star Trek. I'm gonna set my phasers to kill. I strongly recommend the movie. Just like Batman says, I give it a 5 out of 5. It's awesome. I can't wait for the sequel. It had an awesome plot. It made you care about the characters. It was touching. It was funny. It had tons of action. It's a Star Trek movie I always wanted. I'm a bigger Star Trek fan because of it, and I wasn't like super religious Trekkie, but now I think I'll be more so because of this. And I really like reboots. I like what Chris Nolan did with Batman, and I like what J.J. Abrams has done with Star Trek, and can't wait to see the next film. So hope you guys enjoyed my review. Live long and prosper.